And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Everything Psychic with Mary and Gayle. I'm Reverend Mary Hawk.
I am Gayle Tracy Mull with the East Texas Psychic Fair, and this is Everything Psychic.
So, we are here to talk about psychism, magic. We can answer your questions, we can do many readings. If you're watching us on Facebook, or YouTube, go ahead and post questions or comments in chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. We actually have a lot of fun doing this, don't we, Mary?
We do. This is always a whole lot of fun.
Well, it's nice for you and I to get to talk with each other, and it's also, I think it's refreshing for me because sometimes whenever people ask things, it refreshes your own memory and knowledge of it, and you go, oh, you know, you have to think about those things.
Yes, you do.
Which goes back to the fact that there's not a stupid question, which I don't know. There can be sort of stupid and ignorant people sometimes, but hopefully we don't have those. Mm.
Well, uh, I now if someone's trolling, I will just kick them out. And
Mm.
as on Tarot Thursday, I once had someone posting about how their dog had grown a fifth arm and was using it to pick them up, and did I have a spell for it?
Why do people do that? I guess they think it's funny.
I guess so, but yeah, I've got this handy boot and block button.
Boy, you know what? I wish I had one of those for my life, especially like whenever you call in, and you got the telemarketer people. I wish I could just hit the boot and block and just go to the next
Yeah,
one. Just
that
next.
that would be handy.
Yes. A boot and block spell. Oh, who have we got? Holly Sullivan. I love my boot and block button. I don't have one. I want one. I need
I can block
one.
calls on my phone.
Oh, I have this wonderful little thing on my phone that it's called call screening. So instead of just hanging up on the spam and them calling them back, this little automated voice says, "Who are you with and why are you calling?" Oh, it gets
That
rid of so
is
many of
cool.
them. They don't call me back.
That's tech magic, folks.
It is. It is. It's magic.
It is magic.
Hmm.
Well, while we're waiting for anyone to post questions, I had a wonderful experience Wednesday night. My coven was asked to do a 5-minute ritual as part of Nashville Pride Spirituality Night.
That boggles my mind to think about trying to get a ritual done in 5 minutes.
Yes, so we got up there and I led off with Wiccan rituals come in many forms, and they can be very simple or very complex, but we have 5 minutes, one microphone, and one table. So here we go, folks.
What did you do a ritual about?
Well, our coven gods are Zeus and Athena. We chose Athena because of the Parthenon in Nashville. We have a statue of Athena based on the one in the Parthenon in Athens. So that's a natural. And then we chose Zeus as well. So we invoked Athena to protect pride celebration from any issues, and we invoke Zeus for good weather.
Boy, I wish that I had invoked Zeus for my last psychic fair because it was perfectly good where we were at, but the area in general had bad weather. And either everybody comes out whenever it's rainy and stormy, or they all stay home. And we had a stay at home time. Hmm. I think we have a spammer.
What spammer?
Hmm. I don't know. Oh, that boot and block button. I love it. That's such a magical thing.
Spammer? What spammer in the
Yes,
chat?
wander gone. No.
Now,
Yeah.
I was working a psychic fair. Actually, we were there for Pagan World TV reporting, and we had a rainy day, but it was still pretty crowded.
Well, as with anything, I'm still growing. And you have good weekends and bad weekends. It's just part of it. But we all
Yes,
have a really good time. And I've got a wonderful community here. I absolutely adore my community. And that's part of the reason for me being on Pagan World TV and working with you guys is um networking with other people that have built communities.
yes.
It's a big
Hey,
deal.
Dave,
Oh,
good
hi.
to see you. And Holly is asking us for healing energy for a friend. Do you want to?
I can do that for you, Holly. Um, as long as she is okay with the energy being sent to her. Um, can you give me a name um for your friend? And a first name will do if you don't want to put her whole name. I do Reiki. I am a Reiki master in two traditions, and I do send Reiki and do um Reiki via video. Gary. Okay. So, and she has a tumor.
It was just removed.
Yeah, but she still needs where all of that mass was. She needs love and light and healing put into that. I see where all of that empty space is at, that now she has self love and healing. And I send this to Gary through all of time, through all of space, healing on the physical and the emotional level. Ah, just a nice, loving bubble around Gary. Hmm. I have nothing but good for Gary. I think that she will pull through fine. I intend that it was a benign tumor and not a malignant one, that they got everything out. And I packed that with Reiki and love and light and self-healing and self-love. I normally whenever I do energy work on people, and I believe in taking things out. You are so welcome. I believe in taking things out that had already removed the tumor, but I always, always, always put in self-love. Self-love, no one in our world has enough self-love. We really don't.
That is so true.
It is. Let's see. We've also got Dean. Marie, Donna Marie, Dana
Dana
Marie.
Marie.
Nice to see you, Dana. And yes, Holly, I absolutely not enough self-love in this world. And
Yes, and self-care. You must take care of yourself.
if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else.
And that's part of being a psychic is your own self-care routine.
It absolutely is. This is actually a really good thing to talk about.
And Holly says
Yeah,
if you take away but don't put something back, there is just a void. So
it
let's talk a little bit about psychic self-care.
absolutely. Um, you know, I meet people all the time because I do teach Reiki as well as do Reiki on people. And everybody wants to learn and they want to skip the level 1 because level 1 is about self-care. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about Reikiing yourself, which Reiki is just one healing modality, but the parameters are still the same because they want to skip over that part. They don't like that part. They want to get busy and they want to treat other people and do other things. And you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. That's whenever your battery just, and I tell people this all the time. If you don't charge your own battery, you can't do for others. What about you, Mary? Steph?
I agree. And speaking of self-care, I have an eyelash.
Oh, that's exciting.
uh, you must take care of yourself. There's the best example in the world. When you fly, you hear the flight attendants talk about in the unexpected event we lose pressure, the oxygen masks will drop. If you are traveling with a child or someone who can't put it on for themselves, put yours on first. Why? Because you can't think about how to get theirs on if you're oxygen deprived.
Absolutely. And so taking care of yourself, and I think as witches, as women, we tend to want to put everybody else first. And
Yeah.
Holly is saying that she avoids her cards whenever she's feeling depleted. And it's not necessarily that I avoid my cards then, but there are times um, whenever I will not do energy work. If I'm sick, just don't, you know,
No, you can't do energy work if you're not feeling well.
you can't. And I can respect her not wanting to do readings whenever she feels bad because it doesn't translate. You're not a clear channel for your energy because you're not rested, you're not in a good place.
And the other thing is preparing to do readings or energy work. You need to ground yourself,
Mhm.
prepare yourself for it, and then ground yourself afterwards.
Also cleaning your energy field beforehand
Yes.
because, there are many a time that, I'm rushing around day of fair and I'm doing all the things. And then all of a sudden I need to sit down with somebody. And so I need to take a deep breath and get into my here and my now, which normally, whenever I'm doing energy work at fair, oh, we've got some other people joining too. Hello there.
Hey, Fluffy. Hey, Dream Time.
Yes,
So,
yes.
wait a minute. Do you do readings at your own psychic fair that you're running?
Uh, I will occasionally do readings if somebody specifically asks for me. For the majority of
Wow.
the time, I want the other people to go ahead and to get their time. I will book readings with people, outside of fair, people who want me. I will do a little bit of energy work, but I'm always busy. But there's some people that come through the door and they're looking for me. And
I
I
was going to say, I'm one of the coordinators for Nashville Pagan Pride Day, and I am not doing readings at Nashville Pagan Pride Day.
Mhm.
Sorry, no
I
way.
achieve it,
I'm
try and do all things.
I am running an event. I
Mhm.
cannot sit down and get into the right space and lay out cards because someone's going to be on the radio yelling, "Where's Mary? We got a problem."
Oh, well, you got to understand where my table is that I work from whenever I do any work for Psychic Fair, I could see the front desk. And I tell people I am not doing anything for over 20 minutes. I can't because you never know what's gonna hit, you know?
Yes,
Um, it's really hard for me because I honestly love to read for people. I do. I love doing readings. And you can, if you actually want a reading with me and want a private reading, either go to the Facebook page and message me, or I do have a website, GailTracyMall.com. I need to update it and update my pricing. Um, and everybody's readings are different. That's another thing that we haven't talked about a lot. The style that people read with, um, everybody has to develop their own style.
very true. And Jason has a question for you about uh, your fairs.
To get a reading from you, step into your space. They don't know you or your reputation. Sometimes they do, but you've got to understand on the fair and the fair page, it's hosted by me. So they feel like they get to know me before they walk in because I do Facebook Lives. I do this with Mary, that's on there. Um, and I know a lot of people. So a lot of the people who come to fair are people that are already attached to me. And it's really funny because the people that I do readings and coaching with, they become close to me. We become close really quickly. I mean, whenever we get up, a lot of times I feel like I've got a new friend. And, they friend me on Facebook. We stay in touch. I've got clients from all over the place. Um, and isn't it that way for you, Mary?
Yes,
Yeah.
when I read for people, we tend to stay in touch.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen with everybody, but it happens with a lot of people because it's very refreshing whenever you sit down with a person who doesn't know you, who doesn't know you personally. Sorry, I'm getting choked. That's probably I'm saying something important whenever I do that. But whenever you don't know them personally and you sit down and you just lay all these things out and they sit there like,
Yes.
yeah, you know that look, don't you, Mary? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, how did you know those things? It makes a connection. It's a big deal. And it's a big deal for somebody to do that from a place of honesty and integrity. And I believe in being honest and truthful with people, but not brutally so. And having
Right.
said that, people cry with me a lot of times. And I just always feel so bad because I've had people cry. And it's because they got
Yes.
a message. Those events are beautiful chaos. Oh, now then our standard readings, Holly, whenever we do readings at fair, I'm a little bit different than other places because all of the readers, it goes through the front desk and we sell tickets and it's $25 for 20 minutes. And that way everybody has a level playing field. Some people aren't taking donations and some people charge $100 and I don't do all that. Everybody does the same thing all day long. And you know, we have a tendency to expand and go over, but all of my readers are encouraged to stick with their 20-minute time frame. And I have been doing readings that way. I can do a really good reading in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think between 10 and 20 minutes, if you have not gotten it down. Now, I did a reading interview at a local psychic shop, and I did the reading for the store owner. It took me about 15 minutes. While she agreed that I nailed it, she was a little concerned that, okay, we're going to ask somebody to pay $40 for this, but it's just 15 minutes. Like, well, if they have more questions, I'll pull more cards, but I gave you the information.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, whenever people book a private reading with me, now a lot of times I do go longer than that. But we can get more in depth and it's private. You're not in this public space with all these people. And so you're paying for that and you're paying for me to be there and to work through whatever it is that we're working through. And I love that you say that I create a safe space for them. I really do attempt to create that safe space. And you're right, it is because something means something. A lot of times I find that people are wanting messages and they know the answer. They already know what they're supposed to do, but
Mm-hmm.
they've been praying and praying and praying about it, and they're like, "I just want somebody to tell me what to do." And, Goddess okay, maybe Goddess comes and stands in front of some people, but generally, there's a little bit of help bringing it through. So sometimes
Right.
they bring people and they set them down in front of me and they're like, "I knew that, but I just couldn't quite focus. I couldn't put it in perspective." And so I'm literally the channel that message is flowing through.
Right.
Yeah,
When I read, I'm addressing myself to the guides of
right.
the person I'm reading for and asking what they need to know because sometimes they ask a question and that is not what the cards are talking about, and that's not the message I'm hearing.
If I get people who sit down and they don't know what direction they wanna take with a reading, which I don't ask a specific question, I ask them for a direction, you know?
Well, sometimes people will ask a specific question,
Sometimes they will, but
and but you lay out the cards, you open up to spirit, and we're talking about something else entirely. This may be what you asked, but that's not what you need to hear.
no. Yeah, most often, the best question I think to ask is, "What do I need to know?"
Right.
What do I need to know now? What do the guides want to tell me right now? Mhm. And cards can be, most of the time, my cards are sort of matter of fact. They're like, "You asked." Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, Dana.
Yes. Well, it's a little bit you get to see the other side of the coin. If you get readings, you get to see the other side of the coin and get to know what we think about. I've been known to let people know.
Yeah, I have let people know as it's coming through. All right, you asked me X, but Spirit is talking about Y, so clearly this is what you need to hear right now.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, it just tends to work that way. And another thing, you were talking earlier about how sometimes you leave your cards alone if you've been feeling bad. Another thing that cards will do, especially if you read for yourself, if you read cards or runes for yourself, they get mad at you for asking the same question. I mean, they after a little while, they're like, "You idiot, I've already told you. Now I'm just gonna start giving you bullshit."
Yes.
Yes. Um,
Oh,
you
what's
wanna
your question, Margaret? And what kind of reading do you want?
Yes. Do you want, like, a three-card pull? We could do a three-card pull, or Mary, I'm sure, has got her pendulum for some yes and no's over there. And
Of
yes,
course,
Paula,
I
you
have
are absolutely right.
my
Some cards are
pendulum.
nicer than others.
Yes, and I have. Okay. So you've got a financial question. Do you want a three card?
Hey, Scott, I see you.
Hi, Scott. And let me get
Let
my cards out.
let me see, Holly. Or no, excuse me, Margaret. I'm sorry, I'm running my names together. Let me pull some cards about your finances, and then maybe if you have a specific question after that, maybe Mary can do it with the pendulum. Oh, yeah, root tell you off, Holly. Okay, so, Margaret, let's ask about your finances.
I'm getting shuffled up here.
Yeah, let's see what I get.
Yes, you can, Fluffy or Jason. After we pull cards for Margaret.
Yeah. So, Margaret, what I get to start with, and this is where you press start, I get the Ace of Swords. And to me, that means that you have been thinking very hard about your finances. You have really been wondering what you want to do now. You have been contemplating, do I want to change jobs? Do I want to go to school? What all you have been thinking really hard about that. You need to, your action is temperance, which basically I would say temperance with the finances means you need to watch what you are currently doing with your money and finances. Is there a way that you can cut back on things? Do you need to reevaluate what you're doing with your money? Um, you just you need to look at a different relationship to money. This is a major card. This is not a small card. So I would say that you really need to evaluate your patterns with money, and your hereditary patterns with money. I know that I've got a lot of hereditary baggage with money, and I've really had to work on that. But your outcome, if you will do this work, figuring out why you have the attitudes you do about money, you come back into balance and it's transformative for you. So I really think your major work right now is to figure out why you feel how you do about money. Where did you acquire the habits you now have? And we don't really think about that. Why do we act the way we do with money? So that is what I get for you, Margaret.
Okay. So for the recent past, I've got the Princess of Swords. So here we've got air and earth. So there's some stasis. Something's holding you back around money. In the present, we've got the Seven of Swords. And I'm going to say this is how you feel. And this means you're feeling like your finances are an uphill battle. And the final card, before I show it to you, I need to explain something. I use the Infinite Tarot designed by Reverend Don Lewis, head of the Correllian tradition that I'm part of. Well, he's now first priest retired in office. When he offered the Kickstarter to fund this deck, one of the options we had was to commission a card. And the last card I drew for you is called the Fluffy. This card was commissioned by my friend Fluffy, or Jason, who's here with us. And I'm trying to get it in close so you can see it without a glare. As you can see, Fluffy is missing a foot. Jason had to have a foot amputated. But this has been a transformative process for him. So this card is all about taking a situation that may be negative and transforming it into the positive. So I am with Gayle that you need to do some reevaluating here around how you handle your finances and transform that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to say hi to Virgil from Manchester, England.
We had
And
somebody from Norway.
hi to oh goodness, I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm gonna go with Kirsty from Norway, and we will be happy to read for you, but we did have a request before you came on.
Yes. And Kirsty, go ahead and type your question so that we can get to you.
And we've got Jason's question here.
Should I go ahead and read Jason's question so that
Sure.
people know? He says, I am looking at investing in a marketing business designed to help coaches get their businesses. It's moving off the ground. It's not a financial payment plan. It's got a financial payment plan I can afford. It's the thing I've been waiting for to start doing my thing formally. I'm looking for a general reading about the decision. I don't know, being faced with I work with Odin a lot, and this program has an AI interface that goes by the name of Odin. This is why I'm considering this offer seriously. Odin tends to wink at people. He does. And he has a sense of humor, Odin does.
He does.
Odin comes and visits me occasionally because I have people that work with Odin. Um, so let's see what it has to say about if this is the opportunity you've been waiting for. Well, I had mixed all those cards together, and where the other reading stopped, this one starts, as often happens. I promise you, people, I did do this. You're okay with your money right now. You've got a good handle on it. You've got a good balance with it. You have transformed your attitudes towards money, Jason. Um, things are changing for you swiftly. This is about money, and it's about money going, and it can come to you swiftly, but it can also leave swiftly. And your outcome is the lovers, which, the lovers is not always a card about a relationship. The lovers is a card about passion. And this is what you're passionate about. I would say that you will learn a lot and that you're going to be really passionate about what you're doing. And I think that if you didn't do it, you would always regret and wonder if you should. That's what I get about it. But they're all about money and they're all about doing what you're passionate about. That's what I'm getting.
Okay, so the first card I get is the Four of Wands. This actually shows a marriage, but this can be taken as any form of partnership. The next card I get is the Moon. We can see we've got some triptychs like Stonehenge. You can see people working ritual around it. And this is telling us that part of the answer lies in you manifesting it. And then finally, we have the Ace of Swords, which means a fortunate outcome for your endeavor. So I would say it is looking good, but you will need to be putting your magic into manifesting it, as well as just uh, your financial resources.
Well, and like I said, passion. Magic is all about passion. It's about emotion. It's about
It
projection.
is.
And I do think that you're passionate about this. I do think that you want to do that. So what
Oh,
is up next, Mary?
okay. And Margaret, I do see that your dog is sick, and I'm sorry to see that. Oh, and Dreamtime asked for a reading,
Yes, if you'll give
and
a question dream time.
although Kirsty asked for a reading first. So
Yeah.
we'll do a reading for Kirsty and then for Dreamtime, and we'll see how we're doing on time.
Yeah. And and she says Christy is the
Closest
closest way to
way to
pronounce.
pronounce it in
Yes.
English.
And Christy says just whatever comes up.
All righty. So a general, what does the universe want you to know?
Mhm. Let's see what it has for Christy. Let's see. Oh, those just jumped right on up there. There's a lot of energy around you, Christy. And sometimes it's pulling you different directions. Do you sort of feel pulled? You know, you got to, I think you're working on harnessing your energy and getting it to where it all flows the same direction because I got the chariot. And the chariot can be a wild energy that goes all over the place, but I feel like you're really trying to focus your energy. Um, and you're working really hard on that. And I feel like life has been moving really fast for you, Christy. Once again, I mix these up, and this card means fast to me. It does. Um, and Christy, your dad would tell you to slow down and think about it. Think it through before you go making hasty decisions. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, I want you to take 3 big deep breaths. I do not know if your dad is on the other side or not. I feel like maybe, or he's a strong influence in your life. Stop and think before you do. But then do, by all means, do, because you've got the energy. That's what I get, Christy.
Okay. Well, the first card I drew is Temperance. So as you can see with this card, the being in the picture is both male and female, or has qualities of both day and night. So with this card, Temperance is talking about balance. It's talking about not letting yourself be drawn too far one way or the other, but looking at a middle ground and thinking things through carefully. The next card I get is the Eight of Pentacles. And with the Eight of Pentacles, we see a young man who is working under the guidance of an older man. He's learning how to paint. He's improving his professional skills. So this is about honing your skills, honing your abilities. And then finally, and I shuffled, but we got the Four of Wands again. So this card is about some type of partnership, and I'm feeling in this reading, this is more of a business partnership again. So I'm feeling like there is some sort of business opportunity or an opportunity with your job opening up for you. And you need to look at it in a very balanced perspective, weighing the
All the
pros and the cons on it.
Yeah, listen to that wise old owl and say, "Is this what I really want or not?" And I want to say something to the fact that we're pulling so many of the same cards, and I guarantee you Mary is mixing her cards too. We've even noticed this at Bear. Sometimes, some days, the messages seem really similar for everybody that comes through, and, like, temperance will get pulled all day long, or judgment
Yes.
will get pulled all day long, and but it means different things for the person that's in front of you and the place that it's in, because placement is really important about cards. And I love that Jason, uh, he really resonated with what both of us said, so that was very
Yes.
nice. Now then,
And then
was
dream
Cherry the next person, or
dream time is next.
did Dreamtime did they just wanna drink a general one, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah, dream time and then Virgil, then Cherry if we have
That's
time. We've got 15 minutes left.
Okay, dream time. You just wanted something in general. Let's see. Let's see what I get. You see, Mary has to keep me on track. I want to do everything. There's been a lot of chaos in your life, dream time. There's just a lot of people that are giving you hell. I mean, you're really disgusted about some people and some things in a situation. Um, and you just want some peace and some calm. And it's got the daughter of cups. Now, I don't know if it's about your daughter or not, but I think you just want to go somewhere and get the hell away from these people. You really long to, like, I don't know, go sit on the beach or I don't know. You're ready to be done with whatever the situation is that's going on with you. And you give what you get and you get what you give. So if you're ready to be in a different place, and if you don't want all of this chaos, you have to take and breathe and find your calm and start putting that out and getting or letting loose of whatever causes chaos in your life. See what you get on that, Mary, because that was totally different than the other stuff.
Well, this one, the first card I have is the Princess of Lamps. In this deck, the suit of lamps deals with spirituality and magic. The Princess card represents Earth as well. And this is representing spirituality through the lens of Earth. And it's talking about grounding yourself in your spiritual practice. So, whatever your spiritual practice is, you need to take some time to focus on it. The next card is the Lovers. And this is actually about choices. You are being presented with two options, and they may be equally good, but they're different. So ground yourself and consider what option is right for you. And then finally, we have the Queen of Cups. Cups is the card of our emotions, and the queens represent water. And of course, cups are about water. So this is emotions ruled by water. This is a woman who is in control of her emotions. And so this is your final outcome here, is bringing yourself to a state where your emotions are not being played with so much by other people.
Yeah. She wants that more calm, peaceful place. So who was next?
Virgil's next. I'm sorry, Virgil. We're getting to you and your hamster.
Yes.
And so Virgil's hamster passed away, and he's wanting to know, and I'm sorry about your hamster. He's wanting to know if Herbie or Irby is still with him.
I think that he is. What do you get, Mary?
Yeah, he is. I would suggest that you leave him an offering of his favorite food somewhere, maybe where his habitat was, whatever his favorite thing to eat. If there was a treat that Herb liked, or just a little bit of hamster food, leave it out for his spirit.
Mhm. And just because you can do the burial thing does not mean that you can't give an offering and do a little celebration of him. Also, one of the readers that I had at Bear last time, her name is Brandy Culver, and she does pet mediumship. If you really get curious, you might look her up for a reading because she tunes in on pets specifically. Uh, do we have time for Cherry? Is she the last person?
Cherry is no one else has asked for a reading. Dream time, I'm glad it was useful. And
Yes,
yes, Cherry is the last person because we are coming up on the top of the hour.
I will get the funds soon. So you're wanting to know if your manifestation is going to be successful and if the funds are going to come through. And I mean, you're seeing a sign with that check. I might actually take the checks, Cherry, that wasn't a real check. I know what you mean. You get the checks in the mail and they're like a promotional thing, but you might use that for some further manifestation since it was sent to you.
Actually, I have a question. When you say a fraudulent check, did somebody send you a check that bounced or a check on a closed account?
You see, I was taking it like it was one of those like promotional things that you get in the mail,
Oh,
that
yes. You've
it's
been a
the mail.
pre-approved for up to $100,000, and there's that little check.
Yeah, and you open the envelope because it looks like a check is in there, you know. That's what I was taking it that it was. But let's see. Uh, So Dreamtime says that we both hit on different things. So I guess, like you said, sometimes you get the reading you need. So me and you both tuned in on a different level on Dreamtime. That's good.
Yeah.
Apparently you needed to know both things.
Right. All right,
Very
Cherry.
manifestation. Let's see.
Okay. What are we getting?
What I get about Cherry and her manifesting, uh, you have really been holding this close to your vest. You see where you want to go, you know what you want to do, and you're just holding on to it really tight, and you're seeing the vision. Um, but you feel like you have to move mountains to get there. It feels like this big thing that you're working on manifesting, but it comes out the Ace of Cups. And now the Ace of Cups is funny because, in the white deck, they're like that hand and they're reaching out. And I always think of it as the hand of the god or hand of the goddess. And, typically Pentacles is about money. Cups is about emotions. So I think that you will be satisfied with the outcome of your manifestations on an emotional level. I'm not sure if it will be the actual physical amount you want. And you have to remember that there is more than one way to manifest something. It's not just about money. In fact, they say whenever you're trying to manifest, for instance, a new car. There's a lot of ways a new car can flow to you. Sure, you can go buy the new car, but you can win a new car. Somebody can gift you a car. True thing. I have had cars and trucks gifted to me. Um, there's a lot of different ways your things, whatever it is that you're working on, can flow to you. But I think you're going to be satisfied with the outcome of your manifestations.
Okay, so my
Oh,
first card here is the Queen of Swords. So we have water and air, and water and air are allies. So this is something you've been working on. And this is also representing a woman who's in control of things. Then the Eight of Pentacles came up again. And here we've got a young man who is learning his trade under the direction of an older man. It's a master and apprentice relationship. So you're working on manifesting this, and I'm going to say, whatever this project is that you're working on, if you do not have some sort of mentor, you might look for someone who can help you with it. And finally, we have heart. And while the image is of lovers, what this really speaks of is that you are deeply passionate. And so you are very passionate about this. And when we are manifesting, it is ultimately our passion that drives our magic. So without the passion, you can't manifest. So that is what's going to drive it for you.
mm-hmm.
So continue working on it and you will manifest. And I'm going to pull one more card and I get the Ace of Lamps. So aces are fortunate.
Aces are good. And remember, what you speak is what comes. So if you continue to talk about your lack of money, the lack of a job, or the lack of whatever it is, all you're going to get is more lack. So you have to start speaking into existence. This is coming. Yeah. Wow.
Well, I'm glad you found that useful.
And she says, I do feel I'm trying to move mountains. I did receive a new job with my manifesting. Ah, so we both,
Hi, Ed.
and
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
isn't it really amazing? You know, these are people we're not even seeing. They're not in front of us. So we're not getting any cues off of you, and we're still hitting the mark.
Right. Hey, Mary. Good to see you.
Hey, Ed. Hmm.
And we are almost at the top of the hour. We don't have time for any more questions. And for those of us who are our fans, you know, we work on select Fridays. So for the month of July, we will be back on Friday, June 30th. And then for the month of July, we will be here for July 14th and July 28th.
That is because Mary and I both are very busy people. Although
And
I don't know about you, Mary, but I thoroughly enjoy our evenings together.
Oh, I love doing this, but when Gail is running a psychic fair on Saturday, she cannot uh do this on Friday night. So,
I physically impossible.
so we will be back on Friday, June 30th. Blessed be everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it be. Have a wonderful